Hi, mariners and partners. Hop in aboard for Marino World Online. We guarantee enriching MVP or maritime viewpoints. I am your host, Ms. Lynn Bacani of the Marino World Operations. Joining us from Bohol, Mr. Dann Diez, founder and executive officer, SEED4Com. And joining us from Cebu, Mr. William Villaver, marine biologist, the Agli Grouper Divers. Welcome to the program, Dan and William.
Yes, good evening, Ms. Lynn.
Hello, good afternoon from Cebu.
Hi, and thank you for joining us. Of course, you have a joint project on conservation and protection of our mother ocean, rehabilitating our coral reefs. Actually, this is another way of celebrating International Women's Day and National Women's Month, because we're talking about protecting our mother ocean, Mother Earth. That's how great we recognize the life-giving and nurturing aspects of our mothers, of women. So, connect pa rin tayo dun sa ating celebration ng Women's Month. Dan and William, but of course, before we discuss about that particular project, please let us know more about your organizations, the SEED4Com and the Agli Grouper Divers. Let's start with you, Dan.
Yes, so good afternoon, good day to those who are watching us here in Marino World. Very thankful to our good friend, also a mother, Ms. Lynn Bacani, and our NGO is SEED4Com, or Sustainable Energy and Enterprise Development for Communities, which we are joining a collaborative project with the Agli Groupers, headed by one of my high school classmates, James Cho, who is in UK supporting us, as well as our friend William. So what is SEED4Com? SEED4Com is a non-profit organization. We have 4 programs. The first one is Energy for All. I'm here in Bohol. We are going to an island, training locals in the island to put up their own solar rooftop, hybrid solar, and we also promote making solar lamps all over the country. So that's one of the Energy for All campaign. Kasi lahat po ng mga bahay dito sa Pilipinas hindi pa rin connected sa grid, no? Meron sa bundok, meron sa isla. Second is about education. So we have programs on community-based training, skills training, as well as enterprise development, creating livelihood, and last, which is environment. Ito po yung hindi lang paglilinis sa ating lamang lupa, itong clean up. Every September, we have the National Clean Up Day. Partner natin ang DNR, EMB sa itong pag-implement ng solid waste management. Meron din tayong mga ginagawang grassroots, yung eco bricks, yung mga plastic na linagay sa bote, at saka ginawa natin mga project na green space kasi nga wala silang pera sa mga isla ng mga machines, no? Wala silang solusyon sa mga marketed na mga products na nasa merkado na hindi pa na-regulate ng ating gobyerno. So, aside sa land, kaya maganda itong ginawa natin, itong paglilinis underwater or below water. Hindi lang pagkuha ng mga fish nets, mga plastics, kaya ayun, may joint project kami. So, I think si marine biologist Sir William ang mag-explain, no? So, maraming salamat, Ms. Lynn.
So, Sir William, please tell us about your group.
Baka haba naman kay Sir Dan. Sa akin maiksi lang. I'm a graduate of Diez Biology, major in marine biology from University of San Carlos. I'm one of the 4 pioneer graduates of that course. After that, I went to work, and mostly also in the coastal areas. So at present, I work as a freelance consultant on CRM activity, I mean coastal resource management my specialty though is on coral biology. I think that will cover my short introduction.
So mukhang we're talking with a pioneer biologist here in the Philippines. Ano, mukhang isa kayo sa kauna-unahan talaga na marine biologist natin. And why this group? How did you come up with this ugly grouper divers? Medyo catchy yung name ng group nyo. Bakit ugly grouper divers?
Actually, ma'am, yung ugly groupers is just a group of diving enthusiasts doing their weekend dives, and they decided to name their group as ugly groupers. In the course of their diving activity, I came James Stew, the organizer of that group, asked me to join them in their diving activity, mostly on cleanup, underwater cleanup. So in those activities, I am asked to explain what is to be expected under and what are the right protocol so as not to damage the corals underwater. So every time there's an underwater activity in all areas in Cebu, I'm always to join them so that I can brief the participants in that underwater activity.
So after this Typhoon Odette, how's the Cebu coral reef ecology there, sir?
It's sad to say that if there is so much damage in the surface, so much also in the underwater areas. And it's sad to say that corals needs, once coral reef ecosystem is damaged, it takes at least 50 years to recover, or at some point it will not recover at all. So that's how detrimental the effect of Odette on the areas here in the Visayas areas that were affected by that super typhoon.
Mm-hmm. And how about this project with Seed4Com?
Kami naman po sa Seed4Com na NGO, hindi lang po ang relief operations after the typhoon, right, ang tinitingnan namin. So for the first 2 months, meron tayong relief operations sa mga fisher folks na existing partners nationwide, most especially sa Cebu, sa Bohol, sa may Guimaras. So marami pong naapektuhan, hindi lang na-wash out yung bahay, na-wash out yung livelihood, yung payaw, yung mga fish traps, at saka seaweeds. At after 3 months of doing relief operations, nakita din namin ng consultant natin si Marine Biologist William Villaver sa The Ugly Grouper na gagawa tayo ng immediate action. Kasi nga mahirap pagpalabas ng pondo ngayon ang gobyerno kasi election, at the same time first month of the year wala pang release ng budget. So kaya kami sa Seed4Com, The Ugly Groupers, and all the divers dito sa Cebu na nakagawa na ng 2 weeks weekend na diving. Ang diving na ito, pinangalanan namin Coral Reef and Restoration and Rehabilitation. So pinupuntahan namin ang mga existing dive sites. Kasi nga Pilipinas, nag-promote tayo ng diving, in-open na ng tourism ang pagbalik sa ibang mga foreign visitors to our country. And diving is a means of livelihood of our members sa The Ugly Grouper Divers. Kaya nagawa namin immediately itong programa na magtanim ng mga corals, paggawa ng tawag itong floating mooring buoy, kasi nga sabi ni Marine Biologist William Villaver na ang mga nakasisira din ng ating corals, ang mga angkla ng mga boat, mga small boats, mga big boats, kaya kahit simple na mooring buoy, ginawa namin ng paraan using sa mga recycled tires, in-install doon, floating gallons, so pinunturahan para lang merong makabitan yung mga boats and eventually ma-prevent yung human impacts or anchor sa ating mga corals. At makikita din natin na ito palang Super Typhoon Odette, sa sobrang windstorms, mga waves na malakas, na tatabunan ng ating mga corals ng mga buhangin, mga plastic, mga fishnet, so kailangan itong linisin. At saka na-wash out din sila, as in totally ibang area sa Hilutungan Channel na sira. Kaya kailangan hindi lang tayo magtanim sa ating lupa, mag-take care tayo sa ating inang mundo, Mother Nature, or underwater. So kaya ito yung nagawa namin na programa with our agri-grouper. Kasi tinuruan din nila ako mag-dive 2 years ago, no? And then na-interest ako mag-dive kasi nga naglilinis sa lupa pero kailangan din linisin sa dagat. So protektahan natin 'yon.
Balik ko dyan sa Cebu, magpapaturo ako kay Sir William mag-dive. Yan ang gusto kong gawin talaga eh. Anyway, Sir William, how is it important to have this coral reefs, no? To build, no? You're building coral reefs now, di ba? Kasi nasira eh.
So, actually, ma'am, coral reef environment occupies only 1% of the total marine world. But that 1% supports 25% of the living things that marine living things that support humanity. So it's very important that corals and the coral reef environment be protected because they support human life. And then sa aming activity na coral reef rehabilitation with as the marine biologist of the agri-groupers divers na meron nga kaming activity na talagang to preserve the marine the coral reef area. So number 1 is the scobasurero, or the taking out trash from underwater. Mostly the most that I have encountered in our cleanup activities, sad to say, are the disposed diapers, which covers the corals, because corals, once covered, they need sunlight, and once sunlight is cut off, they die. And then another one is what we call the ghost nets, or those nets that either got entangled among the corals or left by the fisher folks. They also cover the corals, which led them to die in a slow manner. So, and then there's another part of the activity is the collection of the crown of thorns, which eat the corals. So once they are in outbreak proportion, they will leave the corals on their way white and dead. So once the corals are dead, then there's no more, what you say, house for the fish in that area. So it's usually when I see that kind of situation, it's always ASAP, as soon as possible, meaning no need to dilly-dally on the removal, because during outbreak proportion of the crown of thorns, they consume 1 square meter of corals a day. So if left alone, then definitely they will kill the coral reef.
And how are you planting this coral? What's the process?
You mean the planting, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. So, in my experience, I have worked abroad. You have this artificial reef or the reef balls that we plant the coral plugs. But in our case here in Cebu right now, since what we saw in underwater, it's already bare rocks. So what we did was to hammer concrete nails to the rocks and then get a coral fragment and then tie the coral fragment to the concrete nail to provide them a stable condition, because corals do not like the coral fragments. Once they are always moving, they die eventually.
So, saang areas dyan sa Cebu nyo inumpisahan yung project, and how are you planning to have this also in other parts of the country? Dann?
Yes, so thanks to our ugly grouper divers and other groups, individual divers, master divers license, joining us for the past 2 weeks. We started dito po sa Hilutungan Channel. It's a bigger channel across Mactan Island facing Bohol. So meron pong isla nun, the first marine protected area called Hilutungan Marine Sanctuary. So yun ang inuna naming tinutukan, yung first reef check dive, at the same time planting of corals, kasi every dive sessions we have three diving sessions per day. Kaya doon kami sa malapit sa Hilutungan Marine Sanctuary, part siya ng local government na Cordova. So last Saturday, our second dive sessions, we already planted around 750 coral fragments in that area with the volunteers of mga 27 divers, kasi every week kami weekend kasi may mga trabaho. So this weekend, we are partnering with LGU of Barangay Agos. It's part of Lapu-Lapu City. Coastal area siya, malapit sa famous na J Park Resort, at marine protected area siya. We have inputs na wash out talaga ang corals reef doon. Hindi na nila alam kung saan na ang mga corals. Kaya we are happy that the local government, especially the Barangay Agos, supporting us, providing us with boats and also food. So the first 2 dives, kami po ang naghanap ng paraan para makapag-rent ng tank ng air, pag-rent ng boat, pakain. So it's really a volunteer efforts, and we need more help na itong ginawa natin ma-continue ng mga local governments, especially sa disaster risk reduction management, and more mga dive shops can help, and even our shipping industry. I don't know how interested they are listening to us, helping us in this initiative, kasi pwede itong ma-replicate all over the country.
Mm-hmm. Of course, marami tayong mga seafarers na napakagagaling na divers, di ba? Seafarers yan eh. So the seafarers and even the families, no, can join siguro dyan sa undertaking na yan. And this is in collaboration then with the local government, of course, di ba? Kasi you have to have their their approval muna before doing that, kasi critical yan, di ba?
Yes, importante po for those who are listening, we have to send a letter. So in the case of Cordova, it was a long weekend. So good that the mayor of Cordova, Mayor Tiche Sitoicho, is our friend. In-email, pina-Facebook ko yung letter days before the long weekend. Sinend niya sa agricultural office. Nabasa nila that we are going to have an event there. Kahit wala kaming hiningi na boat or something, it's really action and coordination sa kanila. Importante po na mag-coordinate sa local government, and then kung sino man ang in charge sa marine protected area, it could be the local government or it could be the people's organization, kinakailangan malaman din nila. So itong ginawa natin, may coordination and approval din with the local government before tayo magawa ng mga hakbang na ganito, no? So yun po. And speaking of mga marinos, if you are in Cebu, whether local, expats, so do reach us. If you are a licensed diver or if you want to help and advocate, do reach us. You can really help us in this immediate action for our corals, because the marino or marine is another world, underwater world. No, it's so big. 70% is marine. Yeah.
Sir William, does this project require special expertise or yung mga equipment or technology, yung particularly coral planting?
Ang requirement ko lang, ma'am, kung mag-join sa coral planting is yung sa mga divers is their proficiency in buoyancy. Proficiency in buoyancy, that means their control of themselves while underwater, because if you are going to plant as much as possible, you will not be kicking around because the one beside you may be planting already coral fragment, and then inadvertently you on the other side will kick the planted corals that he has planted. So you have to go back again to try to secure the planted corals. That is the main requirement for scuba divers that will be joining the coral planting activity.
What are the challenges you have to overcome?
Challenges would be like me, when the water is very cold, I get easily cold. So the first time when the water was very cold, the scheduled activity was 3 dives, was able only to do 1 dive because I already started sneezing, which for me is already a warning that I'm already very cold. Otherwise, I try to ask some of my co-divers to check on the tide, because we usually it's advisable that we do coral planting during slack tide when there's less current. Otherwise, if there is strong current, then you have to maintain your buoyancy, then you have to hold on something, and then you'll be consuming a lot of air, which is detrimental to your work underwater. Because during planting activity, you get engrossed with the planting activity, then you will forget that you are running out of air, which is very difficult also. So basically, buoyancy and the tide situation is the important factors in coral planting, and then in the handling of corals also. That means you won't be holding the whole fragment, but only the part that is planted. So that gives the coral fragment more chance to grow and establish themselves in their new environment, but still underwater.
For sure, safe naman siguro yung area muna, no? Before kasi syempre, baka mamaya may mga pating daw.
Wala namang balita na may pating, ma'am.
Anyway, Dan, anything you would like to add yung sa mga challenges na encounter nyo in implementing the project, no?
So very critical po ang hindi naman siya ganun ka difficult ang pagtanim, kasi sa every session si Marine Biologist William siya mag-introduce paano siya gawin, no? May introduction, and then kailangan by pair ang diving. So kasi yung isa ang ginamit namin dito is concrete nails. Concrete nails, hammer, and then cutter. Para ang hammer at saka nails, ipukpok yun dun sa mga bato sa ilalim ng dagat. At saka yung isang partner mo, bibigyan siya ng coral fragments na kinuha, either nakalat sa ilalim ng dagat or maghanap si Marine Biologist William ng mga corals na doon siya magkuha ng mga fragments at ito'y ipamimigay sa mga divers underground, no? Parang nag-serve ka ng pagkain, no? At saka pagkatapos yon, isang diver magpukpok ng nails and the second diver will be the one to put the coral fragments sa nails at saka i-wrap siya ng cable tie so para mas mabilis. So every dive is maximum 30 minutes to 40 depende sa tao na pag-breathing, and at the same time every dive we can plant one diver at least can plant 10 coral fragments. So yan yung parang ginagawa natin sa if assuming na 10 ang diver, 3 dive, so in a day we can have 300 coral fragments planted in that dive sessions. So if government is serious about planting, meron silang tao, they do it every day, then we can cover more sa mga areas na na-damage ng whether Odette, the typhoon, whether na-damage ng mga angkla, whether na-damage ng mga tao nagyapak sa mga corals natin. So yun po.
And where do you get the corals to be planted?
We get coral fragments within the area also, ma'am. So I'm the one in charge on locating the coral heads, healthy coral heads that we prune. I mean, cutting some parts of it as coral fragment planting materials. And there's one guy assigned with a tray to collect what I have prune, cut from the healthy coral heads, and he will be the one to distribute the coral fragments to divers who are nailed to the corals, to the rock in the bottom.
Then, after this, saang mga areas pa nyo plan na gawin itong project na to?
Yes, so we're happy that we extended now from Cordova local government. We're going to Lapu-Lapu City in the coastal of Mactan. But we would like to go in the Olango side in partnership with the Marine Protected Area stewards. It could be the barangay. And we are hoping if there are other groups who are interested to start their own initiatives all over the country, hindi lang natamaan ng Odette, we would be happy to guide you or help you with Seed4Com and our partner and our consultant, Marine Biologist William Villaver of the Ugly Groupers. So yun po siya ang pwede nating palakasin. And then we're coming up with a program na kapag mag-dive sila sa amin, we will give like certificate na ilan ang na-plant nila. No? Kasi hindi lang ito pagda-dive para leisure diving. We can also provide in our team na certificate na nakapag-retrieve sila sa ating fish nets ng crown of thorns, so we can quantify para meron din silang evidence na signed by our group that they are helping, no? Hindi lang pag-leisure fun dive, but also protecting, conserving, and restoring our marine ecosystem or the reefs, because if we have healthy reefs, healthy corals, healthy oceans, healthy people. So yun siya.
So everybody can join you by individual or by group, no? Pwedeng makipag-collaborate sa inyo.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely. We're open for partnership or hindi man lang kami makapunta doon kasi importante may local groups, di ba? Alam natin, hindi lang kami ang naglilinis ng mga basura sa dagat. Meron ding iba na who would like to start. Pero nga, ang difficulty dito is yung tank, kina-cover ng mga divers kasi they have the equipment. Pero ang challenging is renting a boat. You know, it's important to have your own boat. Dito na sa Cebu, it's like 7,000 pesos na ang renta for one-day boat. So, at saka pakain, at least may lunch man lang sila, no, na nasa boat na mga divers at saka yung crew. Kaya yun yung mga ginastusan namin, hoping matutukan ito ng local government kasi sila talaga ang take care ng ating yamang dagat, di ba? So sa amin, we are initiating, we are showing that we have done this and hopefully ma-challenge sila to continue and make it a program. But if they're interested to partner, we're calling mga research groups abroad on how to plan, to research in that area. We're open and partner with academe, partner with local government. So yun yung ginagawa natin for long continuity of this initiative.
Number one talaga yung local government unit support, ano, para mas ma-implement ng maayos yung program at maging successful lalo na. So, Sir William, would you like to add?
Yes, ma'am. Personally, I would say in the local level, the LGU level, the situation now with the damage of corals in their respective area, I would say it should be concern for the MDRRMO because like in the surface areas, there is plan is always the MDRRMO, but unfortunately, because this one is seen by the people, but underwater, it's only the divers that can say that there is too much damage. So hopefully the MDRRMO will also consider the damage of corals in their area as another disaster situation, which they have to address.
Indeed, you are embarking on a great project, ano, para sa lahat. So, Dan, your message, please.
Yeah, so importante po natin ating protektahan ang ating inang nature, only one earth. At saka marami pa rin ang naririnig namin sa mga dynamite fishing sa underwater. So kinakailangan i-strengthen po natin ang polisiya sa ating pagprotekta sa ating dagat. Kasi po, dyan po tayo ang source ng livelihood ng ating fisher folks. Dito ako sa Bohol, nasira yung mga fish cage nila. Wala na silang mga makukuhang isda kasi namamatay yung mga corals. Kung aalagaan natin ang corals, doon ang dadami ang isda. Kung pag nasira sila, kailangan nating taniman, whether artificial man or itong ginagawa natin na planting ng fragments. So rapid ang ating gawin ito and collective. So calling all Marino World viewers and patrons, no, to support this type of initiatives. We are with you in preserving our marine world.
Sir William, as marine biologist, your concerns on the oceans and the life in the oceans?
Yes, ma'am. Since in the coral biology, there are two types of corals when it comes to their growth rate. We have the fast-growing and the slow-growing corals. The fast-growing corals are the ones that can attain up to 10 centimeters growth per year, while the massive corals or the slow-growing corals can attain only less than 1 cm per year. So the average coral growth is 3 cm per year. That's why it takes at least, as a result of their study, that it takes at least 50 years for a pristine, healthy coral reef community to recover, or if totally damaged, then they will not recover at all. So like dynamite fishing, which takes less than 10 seconds from the start to light the wick of the dynamite to the time it explodes. From that point, that ground zero area will take 50 years to recover. So it's very critical because coral reef and the coral reef community environment is the home of the fish that we eat. And we are Filipinos, it's rice and fish, not rice and chicken. Still rice and fish. So hopefully concerned individuals will also consider this situation, especially those doing illegal fishing, that it's the future of their children that they are being deprived because of that illegal activity. Hopefully, on our part, we will not wait for that 15 years to recover, but with coral reef planting, we try to at least mitigate what is being what has been damaged underwater, and hopefully fish from experience areas where we planted corals, fish start to return because there were already corals growing in that area.
And your message to the public, especially now, no? Summer na naman, marami na naman pupunta sa beach. Dan.
Yes, so if you love the oceans, then you have to protect it. Make sure po, kung mag-snorkeling po tayo, wag po i-touch yung mga corals, wag po natin yapak at ano yun, yung don't step on those corals. And sa mga divers po naman, no, na new, we really have to avoid destroying these corals because they are our source of food, and we are all connected with that. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir
Thank you.
William.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Dan and William, for sharing your time and thoughts on our marine environment. Mr. Dann Diez, Chief Executive Officer, Sustainable Energy and Enterprise Development for Communities, or SEED for Com, and William Villaver, Marine Biologist, the Agli Grouper Divers. Thank you for watching Maritime Viewpoints. Stay on board. Subscribe to Marino World Online for more meaningful maritime news and views.
Challenge approach to communication.